Hello, 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 hello. It's the Flying Pig here on Flying Pig United with another cheeky little stream for you lads and lasses. What's going on? Good afternoon, everyone. It is absolutely sweltering in the UK today. I'm in the garage here. It's literally like in a sauna or something. I feel like Cristiano Ronaldo's big toe when he's wearing a sandal right now in the hot Saudi sun. I feel very, very hot, guys. It's very, very toasty in here, man. So I'm just probably going to be sweating throughout the show. But do us a favour at the start of this one, everyone. Smash that like button on this video. Give us a massive thumbs up. If you haven't done so, drop a cheeky like on it. Share it around on social media if you want as well. That'd be awesome. And get yourself involved. Get yourself subscribed if you're new to the channel, guys. You know it makes sense. Oh, yes. Come and have your say throughout the show. That'd be much appreciated if you want to get yourself involved. So hot though, isn't it? It's so hot and sticky and moist today. Goodness me. Welcome in, everybody. Thanks for joining the show. We got John O'Connor, Alistair, Megan, Simon. What's going on? Legacy of Outlaws. Welcome in, welcome in. Bruce McIntosh, Jimmy Jones, James T, United Tactical Talk, Stephen Shipman, the Don Gungshi, Wowcall, William Reedy, Jimmy Jones, Andricos, El Scorchio, John Boy Cat. How you doing, my son? R Kings and everybody else as well. You know, thank you very much for everyone getting in here. I appreciate you. Do us a favour, as I say, drop a thumbs up on it, share us around wherever you can. The link to the Twitter post is pinned at the top of the live chat. So give us a cheeky little retweet and a repost over there and we'll give you a shout out later on. And of course, smash the subscribe if you're new to the show. Guys, look at that. 74k subs, guys. Come on. We did it. Baby, we did it. We've got plenty of United news to discuss this afternoon. We're going to be going in there raw and giving you the latest updates and what's going on. Sin Games, hello, lad. How are you doing, you legend? Andrew, Dean, Neil Driscoll and everyone. As always, guys, get involved throughout the show. It's a fully interactive channel. We do let you get your thoughts and opinions in throughout. We don't just chat shit here for the entirety of the show. We let you guys have your say as well, so get involved if you want with your thoughts and opinions throughout the show, and we have a big Q&A at the end as well. Right, let's get stuck in then. So it's another day, another drama at Manchester United. It feels like I'm watching some proper gash-tastic soap or something. I don't know, Saint Elsewhere or something, you know, Prisoner Cell Block H, more like it, with some of the bloody criminales we've got in our bloody setup and stuff like that. You know, it does feel like we're watching some sort of soap opera guff playing out, doesn't it? What's going on? You know, it's like next week on Manchester United, Victor Lindelof and Harry Maguire in a bust-up because they don't know who's the father of Lindelof's fucking wife's baby. You know what I'm saying? Who knows what's going to go on next week, guys, at this football club? Who bloody knows? It's an absolute shambles. It's just so, like, drama driven at this moment in time, unfortunately. There's always something. Even today there's something. Exactly. 0793 Manchester Street, episode 1. Precisely. That's what it's all about, mate. It is very much like that at this moment at this football club. You know, we've got so many issues. Not just the Glazers shithouses, right, stomping down on us, shitting on us like an eagle from a great height, but we've also got the Greenwood stuff. He's just left us going to play at Getafe now. But obviously that's not Man United's direct problem right now, but he's still a United player, technically. We've got, of course, Antony with this whole domestic abuse allegation situation that's taken place. He's being investigated over in Brazil and may well be in Manchester as well. We've also got this issue with Jadon Sancho publicly calling out Eric Ten Hag, calling him a liar, insinuating him that he's a liar, you know, and all this rift that's taken place between the player and the manager. Who needs it? Who needs it? It's very, very frustrating. And all this sale process business as well. Will the club be sold? Won't it be sold? It is like a proper gash soap, this. You know, that's what's going on. So, unfortunately, we just have to sort of bite our tongue at the moment and try and hope for better days. It's a really shit run football club from the top down, unfortunately. The Glazer shithouses constantly getting things wrong. I mean, can you imagine a scenario where we spend 400 million under the new manager? We're playing with bloody Slabby Maguire and Johnny Evans as our defenders in the last game. It's actually laughable when you think about it, guys. The Glazer-nomics at this football club is unreal. You know, we wanted Pavard. We wanted Benjamin Pavard. We wanted Jean-Claire Todibo. Ten Hag wanted Kim Min-jae. You know, he wanted a bunch of different defenders. Who did he get? Johnny Evans. You know, you can't make this shit up, can you? It's absolutely unbelievable. So that's classic Glazeronomics for you. Yes, we spent a bit in some other areas and we got some players in. But just the fact that we've actually got Maguire and Evans, a relegation standard pairing there, playing in the last game against Arsenal, away at the Emirates. I mean, you can't make this shit up, can you? You can't make it up. Whose idea was that? It's unbelievable. So it just goes to show you the sort of situation we're in with the current owners and the cash investment that's taking place and everything. But unfortunately, we do have to hope for better days. Doesn't look like it's it's coming imminently due to all the crises that are currently taking place. We've got injury issues. You know, this is the equivalent of Jamie and Sonia in hospital, and he's choking his fucking life out. He's going to die on Christmas Day. That's what this is, guys. You know, I'm waiting for Steve Owen to pop up in a minute and smash Eric Ten Hag over the head with a fucking ashtray, guys. You know what I'm saying? This is a full-on soap opera of a football club right now. You know what I mean? Unbelievable. Okay, let's talk about Sofyan Amrabat. Let's get on to something positive, though. Of course, we've got some Sancho news to discuss. We've got some Antony business to get onto. We'll save that guff stuff for a bit later on, right? Let's talk about Sofyan Amrabat. Get in there, my son. He is a Manchester United player, we know this, but he has been unveiled at the club today. Here he is at Carrington, guys. I'll just get the pictures up in the bottom right-hand corner. There he is taking a selfie. There he is standing outside the training complex. There he is wearing some trousers. There he is getting out of a van. You know what I'm saying? Sofyan Amrabat, guys. Get in there, my son. Welcome aboard to Sofyan. He is there. That's good to see. Fantastic to see. Here he is also alongside his bald brethren, Mr. Eric Ten Hag. Here he is, guys. Look at him there. Look at that. Don't they make a nice couple of individuals? Don't they, you know? But yes, fair play. Look at that. It's Stone Cold Steve Austin and Andrew Tate. Get in there, my son. Give me a hell yeah in the live chat. And that's the bottom line. Because Stone Cold Piggy said so. We've signed Andrew Tate. We've got Stone Cold Steve Austin as a manager. Who's coming in next? I wonder. I do wonder. I think we're going to get we need to sign Jordan Peterson as our club psychologist. You know what I'm saying? We need to get Mr. Jordan Peterson in here to fucking go into everybody's mummy and daddy issues that they've got in the football club to try and get these fucking melters to stop being horrible people and to start fucking working and, you know, getting their shit together, man. That's it. We got Andrew Tate. We got Stone Cold Steve Austin. We need to go and fucking get Jordan Peterson as our club psychologist, man. Unbelievable. Oh, here he is in all the kits. Every single one, even that shit Newcastle-looking guff. So here he is, Sofyan Amrabat, wearing all the kits. You love to see it. This is what he said as well, or his agent has said, I should say. Look at this. We've got a post from Sofyan Amrabat's agent here. He says, you had a dream that saw you playing under the lights in the Theatre of Dreams. You put your trust in me. You put your trust in me. He says, you put your trust in me to make that dream a reality. And for 15 years, we've been on this journey together that has seen you grow from a young boy with raw talent and passion for football to the man you are today, a world-class player. After your performance at the World Cup, the biggest stage of all, the whole world was speaking your name. They all saw what I always knew. Your talent was undeniable. My belief in you has never changed. And even though these last 3 months were difficult with so many obstacles, you turned down every club that came calling because you had faith that your dream would come true. One club. We made it, brother. A promise kept. A dream realised. The theatre of dreams awaits. This guy's a fucking G. You know what I'm saying? Who is this guy? I want this guy to be my agent and I don't even need an agent. This guy's a fucking Don, isn't he? This guy's pure poetry, man. What a fucking silky individual. You know what I'm saying? Respect, big respect there to Sofyan Amrabat's agent coming out with some beautiful words there, guys. Some beautiful words. I just felt like I popped that up on the screen. Gunksy says, blimey. John Boy says, is this a poem? I don't know what it is. It's some sort of truly inspirational, motivational piece, though, that he's written down here. You know, so respect to Sofyan Amrabat's agent. Yeah, Gunksy says he's a poet and a motivational speaker. He absolutely is. So fair play to him. He's, you know, he's just obviously suggesting that Amrabat waited for the right club. He waited for Manchester United. This is who he wanted to play for, and finally he's got his dream move. This is a massive club. Remember, this is a huge club. This is a sleeping giant of a football club. Sadly, we do have the wrong owners. Sadly, we do have some issues at the moment, but everybody knows the great history and reputation and what this club really means. This is still the same club that was founded by railway workers. This is still the same club that's come back from many anniversary in its time, whether it be air disasters where the whole squad's been sadly killed, or more or less, and coming back 10 years later to win the European Cup, and coming back from a very dormant, gastastic period in the 70s and 80s to be the force that it was in the 90s and the noughties. This is Manchester United, my friends, and we will be back once again. Unfortunately, right now we are in a dark day. We're in a dark period of time at the club for us in general because, well, as we've mentioned, all the different reasons. But we will be back one day. This is a great club, and people who want to be here is exactly that who we want. Sofyan Amrabat clearly values playing for Manchester United. He knows what it means to be a Manchester United player. So I'm loving that, guys. Let's get into the sort of news about Sofyan Amrabat's potential injury. I told you not a day goes by without any drama, guys, and maybe the other one as well. But in regards to the day going by without any drama, there's been reports that Sofyan Amrabat he's nursing an injury, guys. Like Rasmus Højlund coming in with an injury to his back. I don't know what it is. I think maybe some of these players are coming in with back injuries due to the fact of carrying Manchester United's dreams on their back in the transfer window. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, guys? They'll coming in with some sort of bloody back injury or something, trying to hold us up. What we need is Slabo Maguire just to be that stone pillar holding our dreams up, really. To be fair, if that was the case, we'd be in the shit. But, look, Amrabat, does he have a back injury? Doesn't he have a back injury? I'm seeing some sort of reports that suggest that, he may not have a back injury. He may not be injured, which is good. Obviously, we want that to be the case, but we don't know yet the extent of the situation. We have to wait for confirmation from, say, Erik ten Hag. I mean, look, he's obviously not injured to the point where we wouldn't take him on. Same goes for Rasmus Højlund. And when these reports are coming in to say that he's injured, it was like Rasmus Højlund's injury. He's still fit enough to pass the medical, and he's still fit enough to play a couple of weeks later. I think more or less it's just the fact that he's not been playing with the team. He's not actually been playing regular football. He's got to get his condition and his fitness up to scratch over the next few weeks, really. That's probably what it really more or less is. He's got a little injury. He's got maybe a little back complaint. I'm walking around every day with a back complaint, guys. You know what I'm saying? So it's not, I don't think it's anything serious, this one, guys, but there are reports from The Athletic that say this. His current back issue was not thought to be serious. United pressed ahead with a deal on the agreed terms. So, not unwell enough to be, to scupper the deal. And they said that Amrabat's medical was completed, although not before United detected a minor back injury. So I don't think it's anything serious, guys. This guy's, if at all. So perhaps he does have an injury, but more than likely it's absolutely nothing to be concerned about at all. He probably just needs a massage. You know what I'm saying? Get him a cheeky little sports massage on the go and he'll be absolutely right as rain. He looks absolutely fine. He seems fine. He's here. He's ready to go. Really, so I don't think there's too much concern about him actually being injured here, folks. But it would be a typical Manchester United thing to sign an injured player right now if that was the case. But doesn't look like that's the case. But there are reports from The Athletic to say that he is injured. So we'll shelve that one for now until we find out more. But hopefully it's not the case. But it does, wouldn't surprise you, would it, if that was the case, if he ended up being injured. Okay, and then also, guys, check this out. He has been given the number 4 shirt. Get in there, my son. Oh, yes. Sofyan Amrabat rocking the new number 4. He's our new number 4. It's a bit of a low number, that, isn't it, for a central midfielder? But I guess, look, there's obviously not that many options in the first team to take the numbers from 1 to 11. He's got given the number 4, which is, a defender's number, obviously. Replacing Phil Jones, isn't he? Yeah, replacing Phil Jones's number, right? So that doesn't set a good precedent, does it? But either way, the number 4, get in there, my son. That's good news. Sofyan Amrabat being given the number 4 jersey. It was Phil Jones's shirt, Gungshi. Get some Phil Jones emojis in there. You're absolutely right. Of course it was. Yep. By the way, guys, we're going to cover the rest of the news now, but do us a favour and smash the like button if you're just getting in here. We got 174 legends watching. Let's see if we can get 174 likes on the stream. Oh, yes, you know it makes sense. Drop a thumbs up, give us a share, smash that subscribe button if you're new, and get involved in the chat as well. Nice one, nice one. So, yes, it was Phil Jones' number. Does that set much of a precedent for Sofian Amrabat? No, it's got... big shirt to Phil, says Pablo Escobar. Big shirt to Phil. True, I mean, he's going to have to, like, pull off his best Gurn face, isn't he, in order to win the same accolades that Phil Jones has done. You better start practicing in the mirror. But, no, obviously, look, it's good news for us that he's been given such a first team shirt number, if you know what I'm saying. It indicates what his role hopefully will be in the side, which is a regular role. I still think he gets into the United starting 11. Smash a 1 if you think that Sofian Amrabat gets into United's current starting 11. Smash a 1. You could argue that Mount, Bruno and Cassie get ahead of him, I suppose, but Mount's guff. Sofian Amrabat looks like a real good baller, and I think he'll probably be playing alongside Cassie, and then that gives us the option to play Bruno or Mount, I guess, in front of him. But yeah, lots of ones coming in the live chat, so people don't think that Mason Mount's getting in necessarily ahead of Sofian Amrabat. I think it'll be Cassie, Sofian, and Bruno's probably our best 3 in midfield that we can put out there. Yeah, channel. Yeah, Kane's Gaming Channel. Hey, what's up, mate? Welcome. It's just big shoes to fill. I see what you did there. Chris Koo, get in there. John Bailey, Let's Be Avenue. Leanne Reeson as well. Think so. Fair play, guys. Yeah, Tommy Boyle, you legend, says 1 all day. Precisely. I don't know about that, Dave Grant. Maybe he has been carrying United's dreams on his back for the last couple of months, so that's had its effect. But no, in all fairness, we've got to wait and see, actually, after the international break. To be fair, it's the international break right now anyway, so you may well be fit and available and ready to go as soon as that's done. You know, this is just a small issue, if at all. The Athletic are reporting that. You can't really, we can't guarantee it. We have to wait and see, obviously. 1 all day, says Tommy. Yeah, you want to see Casemiro, Amrabat and Bruno. Me too, Don Gungshalioni. I couldn't agree more. You want whoever puts in the work to get into the team. Hey, fair play to you, Luan France. That's a good point. You've got to trust Eric Ten Hag as well with what he wants to do. If he feels like Mount is the right sort of player to play for us for whatever reason, he has signed him for 60 million. You've got to allow Ten Hag the freedom to do what he sees fit in whatever game. Even if it maybe leads to us playing some horrible, rope-a-dope, guff-tastic, passy, sidey, round the back style away from home, But there you go. Whatever you may think, Ten Hag's got his methods and we kind of have to back him. And obviously I still think he's been doing a good job while he's been here at United. Just on Phil Jones, thank you, Sin Games, nearly at 100 likes. Thank you so much. Keep hitting the likes, guys. So just on Phil Jones, I don't know if you've seen this, guys. I think this is true. Phil Jones has returned to Manchester United as an under-18s coach. You can't get rid of this guy, can you? What the fuck? Do you know what I'm saying? Goodness me, what's he going to be teaching the under-18s? How to sit on the fucking bench? How to make a fucking cuppa? How to cut up the half-time oranges? How to clean the fucking boots? How to pull off a very convincing Gurn face on Halloween? What's he going to be teaching the under-18s, guys? Exactly, Gunksy. There's going to be Gurning sessions at Carrington. I don't understand any of this, guys. What the fuck are we doing? It's like jobs for the boyos, isn't it? Get your mates involved. That's what it seems like to me. But I don't know really what he's going to bring to the table for the under-18s. We'll see. But I guess he could give them advice on what not to do, maybe. I don't know. I have to be honest. As far as Phil Jones as a player, in the earlier part of his United career, he was a good player for us. He wasn't bad at all, and he gave it his all playing for us. But then there came a point when it was pretty clear he was just happy getting a new contract and seeing out his days at the club, getting £100,000 a week and not really being prepared to play. He could have gone elsewhere on loan. He could have gone to this club, that club, and actually played. So his mentality is weak, if you ask me. He wasn't able to get over his injury issues. He wasn't able to get over this stigma of him being a meme and a shite player, and he melted. He fell by the wayside. And if that's who we've got, mentality-wise, bringing in to teach our youngsters, I worry for the next generation. I do. Goodness me. I mean, nothing against Phil Jones. He seems like a nice guy and everything, but I think he's a bit mentally weak with the way that he approached the final years of his professional football career. He could have played, he could have had some successes elsewhere, he could have proven himself. It doesn't work out for everybody at Manchester United for whatever reason, but you can go somewhere and you can have a good career. Look at people like Phil Neville. Phil Neville's a shining example of somebody that, well, he was good at Manchester United, but he was always in the shadow of, various different players, never really got a first team role. And then he fucked off and went to Everton and became an absolute fantastic captain leader for them. Midfielder doing bits. This is what you can do if you lower your expectations and you go somewhere else and you're actually prepared to play football, and if you are playing for the love of the game. I don't think Phil was doing that. But anyway, we've got to give him a chance. Yeah. Philip Chapman. Well, you're just saying that because you've got the same name as him, bro. You know what I'm saying? Philip Chapman, give him a chance. Look, he's only under 18s coach, mate. What are we going to give him a chance for? I just don't understand it. But fair enough, give him a chance. Phil Jones, the guy who robbed the living at United for the last few games, give him a chance. I don't, yeah. Good luck to him. But that's what's happened with the club anyway. We have given him a new job. I don't see the point of it, but there you go. Right, let's cover the rest of the news then, guys. So Amrabat's here at the football club. Amrabat, potential back injury, maybe, probably not, hopefully not. Sure, it won't affect it after international duty anyway. And then also, of course, he's been given the number 4 shirt. Great stuff, replacing Phil Jones. Phil Jones, new under-18s coach. That's the Amrabat news. Let's move on to the Antony stuff. So unfortunately, the Antony stuff is there. He has been dropped from the Brazil side. That is an absolute calamity. And of course, Antony at the moment is being investigated by the Sao Paulo court for domestic violence against his ex-girlfriend, Gabriela Cavallin. UOL has had access to photos, videos, conversations and testimonies from witnesses which reveal threats, intimidation and physical attacks from Antony. One of the videos of the investigation shows an injury that exposed the bones of Gabriela's fingers. This is from UOL Esporte. Now, take that with a pinch of salt. This is some report that's come out. I mean, bloody hell. If that's the case, that does not sound good at all, does it? But these are, and I will reiterate, allegations at this moment in time. These are allegations at this moment in time, and nothing has been proven. These are just alleged. And there's another, you can obviously doctor evidence, you can obviously come up with pictures and things like that where it doesn't tell the story of what's actually happened. I'm not saying that is the case. I'm just saying that we've got to let this investigation run its course and let the Brazilian authorities deal with this and to try and find out the situation. Obviously, there's a lot of rumours going on. There's a lot of issues that are taking place around Antony. He's been dropped by Brazil. This has had a knock-on effect already to the point where it's enough that the Brazilian FA, essentially the Brazilian, Brazil as a national side, can't have him in the side right now because he's under investigation for some serious allegations. That's what's going on. So this is very much bad, and it could have a knock-on effect with United, obviously, if he can't play for us due to, being investigated by GMP, Greater Manchester Police, which is on the cards because his girlfriend's apparently in contact with the Greater Manchester Police as well. But what we have to say, and I said it yesterday, but I'll say it again, is that, look, obviously, we don't know the extent of what the reality is here. Wait and see if anything's actually, if there's any basis for this. It could well be just a baseless allegation which has been put towards Antony, or it could be true. We don't know. So let's wait and see how it plays out. But this does really not sound particularly good. Gunshi says, problem is, it's likely that only Antony and his ex know what really happened, and if anything. True, like, what's the extent of the evidence here? So, look, just because let's just say that somebody's got, a bruise on their body somewhere, and there's a photo of that bruise. Well, unless there's a video of that bruise being caused, that's not evidence enough to really, to suggest that somebody's definitely done something. Anybody can get a bruise on their body and take a photo of it. That doesn't prove how it happened. Maybe there's some sort of conversation, maybe there's some sort of text messages back and forth that suggest wrongdoing, in which case that is, I guess, substantial evidence, but we don't know if there is. There may well not be. Audio clips, video clips, if there's things like that really do prove some sort of ill doing on Antony's behalf, then, well, that's going to be enough to really derail his entire career here, isn't it? If it's something like that, then that could be terrible. Look, I'm not saying Antony's done anything wrong, and I'm not saying he hasn't done anything wrong, but it's what you can prove. It's not what you can say. Like Gungshi says, there's only a couple of people more than likely that know about this, and that's them two. That's between those two. There may well have been some arguments, and there may well have been some messages exchanged, and unless they indicate that there has been some serious wrongdoing, i.e. admission of guilt or admission of crime or anything like that, then it's really hard to even get a conviction or anything like that. It would have to be substantial evidence. And for United's point of view, look, this is the last thing we need right now with what's happened with Mason Greenwood and what's been going on at the football club in general. It's just another drama piece of guff to add to the already massive guff that's taken place at the football club with these issues. So, you know, that is, we can't get away from that. We've just got to let the Brazilian authorities do what they're doing over there and hope that Antony is innocent. Let's hope that he's innocent. It's very easy to allege to somebody that they've done something without them even doing it. Like, I think it was Ulf, was it Ulfster? Ulf793, are you in the live chat, my son, who said yesterday on one of my videos, on the video yesterday when we were talking about this, he said something along the lines of, if the proposed victim is found out to be lying, then they should face the same punishment as what Antony would have faced if it turns out he is guilty of it. And I think that's true. Look, if Antony is guilty of it and he has done some physical harm and abusive, then he should be punished to the full extent of the law. But at the same time, if somebody's accused somebody of something and they haven't done it, that person shouldn't just be able to walk free and that's it, no harm done. They should absolutely be punished themselves. So that's what I'm hoping. You know, there's got to be something that comes out of this, basically. Let's just hope that there is no true basis to this and that Antony's not a horrible person and that Antony can play. Yeah, you're right, Ulfster. That's spot on. He did say that. Ulf says Antony put a statement out straight away denying it and claiming also he did. So there was a difference here with like the Greenwood situation. Greenwood, there was some audio that came out publicly and then Greenwood kept completely stum. He didn't say anything. Whereas Antony's immediately defended himself, immediately said that he has evidence to prove his innocence and that he is, and that he even went in as far as in his statement to say that she, when she has made testimony or when she has discussed this case with authorities, have given a different story every single time. Don't know how he knows that, but essentially, you know, it seems like Antony's prepared fully to defend himself and he is singing and shouting about his innocence. So I think we do have to give him the benefit of the doubt for now. There's no point trying to say that Antony's a wrong un or anything like that. We don't know. It could well be nothing. I personally think that we just got to stick by him at the moment, hope that this is not true, hope that it doesn't affect him as a footballer, as a person right now. And if it is true, then we'll cross that bridge when it comes to it. You know, it could well be not true, in which case all of this is just tarnishing his reputation, putting a lot of mental strain on him. And maybe that's a kind of a reason perhaps why he's not putting some fantastic performances recently. When you've got things like this weighing on you off of the pitch, it can affect your professional life as well. So I don't know really what to say at the moment. I just think we've got to just wait and see what happens here. By the way, we smashed 100 likes on the stream. Get in there, you beauties. Thank you, every one of you legends, for hitting the thumbs up. I do appreciate that. Hey, Jarvis Cocker, what's going on, you legend? Yeah, share prices down significantly, mate. Well, can you imagine, like, the Glazer shithouses being rumoured to stay? You know, all of this going on at the football club. I'm surprised the share price isn't down to about fucking half a pence right now with what's going on at this club. Bloody hell, it's an absolute disaster zone. I agree, Gungshi. Nobody should be allowed to slander others with impunity. Spot on. Absolutely. So, like Ulster was saying yesterday on my video, if there is allegations that are proven to be false, then that person should be punished significantly. This is what I don't really... One thing I would say about law in general, which I think is wrong, and you know, I personally think you shouldn't really, when somebody gets accused of something, and somebody even they can get arrested for something that they've been accused of, that often gets reported out there in the media, and that can be doing half the damage. There's been lots of like occasions where somebody's been accused of something way more heinous than this, and it turns out it was completely false, you know, but that person's reputation gets dragged through the mud. I don't think you should really be allowed to release names or release information about people being investigated until there's actual proof, until they've actually been essentially, you know, really there's some strong basis for it, they've even been found guilty. Because all it does is really harm people who may be completely innocent. Like, there's so many occasions where there's been high profile actors or whoever it may be who have been accused of doing really horrible things, and it turns out that they were completely false, and that person's had their reputation dragged through the mud, and probably a lot of mental strain and public scrutiny going on. It's not really right, is it? You know, it works both ways. It's not really right. It's obviously not right to commit atrocities and, and create victims and all that kind of things. But if that's not the case, just to say somebody has done something when they haven't, it's just as bad, if you ask me. That's a terrible thing to do to someone. Exactly, Chris Koo says it can ruin people's lives even if it's proven false. You're absolutely right, Chris Koo. The stigma's there then. You know, people don't necessarily hear about this person's been found completely to be innocent, or this person's, come out forward and they're the ones who's lied. You know, it doesn't always work that way. Sometimes the damage can be done already. So you're absolutely right. Yeah, I don't even think it should really be happening until there's more basis for it. Hey, thank you, Jimmy Jones. I appreciate you for the $1.99 super chat. He says, £85 million for Norman Stanley Fletcher. Norman Stanley Fletcher, I sentence you to 10 years in Her Majesty's prison service, whatever. Hey, Jimmy Jones, that's fucking hilarious. Mate, that's so funny. Dude, I've just got off the blower with Fabrizio Romano. Apparently we're putting in a £20 million bid for the Birdman of Alcatraz. You know what I'm saying? Good one, Jimmy Jones. We're assembling some full-on prison FC shit on the go, mate. Dude, next week you're going to find out that we've signed up fucking, what's his name? Bronson. You know what I mean? We're going to get Bronson in here, mate. He's going to be oiled up, ready like Adama Traore. We're going to play him left wing and he's just going to fucking absolutely decimate people, lad. He's going to be oiled up so nobody can get hold of him. Oh, goodness me, man. Unfortunately, we shouldn't be laughing, but it is. You got to laugh to stop yourself from crying, don't you? It is outrageous. Norman Stanley Fletcher, I sentence you to 10 years playing for Manchester United. Oh, my goodness. Oh. Anyway, it's pretty funny, guys. It's pretty funny stuff. Pretty funny stuff, isn't it? What's going on, unfortunately. Or Chopper, yeah, Chopper Reed, exactly. Get him in there. Right, anywho. Let's carry on. Let's carry on with this then. So let's see how it plays out, really, folks, with Antony. Let's not judge him too soon because we don't know if there's much of a strong basis for it right now. But one thing about Antony and the situation with Antony is... Wait a second. Thank you, Legacy of Outlaws, for the 4-month membership. He says, think of the Johnny Depp stuff. How much was he accused of how mentally hurt he was with that whole thing? Exactly. And it turns out it was just all false, mate. And he actually had to take it to court in order to protect his reputation. Absolutely right. And then it turned out that, you know, he was innocent in it. I mean, he wasn't innocent in all of the, you know, obviously couples are going to argue, but the allegations made against him were very much, false by the seams of it anyway, obviously. And that's what was found out. There was that the libel case was upheld. So, you know, you're absolutely right here, bud. You know, anybody can say anything about anybody, especially a woman scorned. Manchester United Prison 11, that's right, 0793. Should be oiling our players. Is it allowed? I don't know, Sin Games. It bloody well shouldn't be. Thank you, Legacy of Outlaws. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for getting here, being a member for 4 months, you legend. Come on, lad. Absolute legend. Right, let's crack on then, because this is depressing stuff. Let's talk more about the football aspect of stuff very quickly. This isn't going away anytime soon. He's been taken out the Brazil side. It's a nightmare. Stan Collymore on loan. Oh, goodness me, lad. Bloody hell. Right, but, you know, Antony apparently triggers Jadon Sancho, if you believe this report anyway, that suggests that Sancho's recent sort of unhappiness is down to the fact that Antony's getting in ahead of him and he feels like maybe he shouldn't be. So this is from Chris Reader from the Daily Mail. So again, take it with a massive bit of sodium. Says Eric Ten Hag's preference for starting Antony on the right is believed to be one of Jadon Sancho's gripes with Eric Ten Hag. I mean, I think the biggest gripe is him coming out publicly and saying that he's a bad trainer, obviously. But yeah, I mean, I guess from Sancho's point of view, if you're looking at the current squad and the performances, maybe he feels like Antony's not had the best start to the season and he just gets selected regardless. I still think Antony works very hard and works a lot harder than Jadon Sancho when he's on the pitch and is probably more deserving of a start anyway. And also when you think about the training aspect of things, we're not there really to see the full extent of training. So we don't know who's actually putting in the legwork, who's showing that they're committed, who's being a true professional. Maybe in training, Antony's just giving it his all every single day, busting a lung, working super hard, being positive, having the right mentality. And Ten Hag sees that, and so he gives him the nod. Maybe that's true, and maybe Sancho's just there, coming in late, rocking up with a Frey Bentos in one hand. Who knows? We don't really know. So we just got to trust Ten Hag in this. If he feels like he needs to be motivating Sancho by calling him out on his bad training, then that's up to the manager, isn't it? It's certainly not up to the player to respond publicly and insinuate the manager's a wrong liar, basically. Here's another speculative bit of information that suggests that obviously he's fallen out of favour with Southgate as well, perhaps due to the fact he's a bit of a sulk. So look, obviously Chris Wheeler again from the Daily Mail, so take it with a pinch of salt again, but Southgate and his coaching staff have spoken about the problem of Sancho sulking when he's not selected in the lineup and the negative impact it can have on the atmosphere in the camp. It doesn't surprise me. He feels like he's been scapegoated in the past when he was at Dortmund. And I think about him, he was in England's team. He was a definite selection in England's team at one point before, Saka and Rashford and Grealish and people like this sort of emerged as better players, to be honest. Let's be honest, they're better players. They're doing it more and more frequently to a higher standard, week to week. They're better professionals and they're better players. But at one point, a couple of years back, Sancho was in that England team and he was doing really well. But you've got to stay there. You've got to perform well. He's gone to the big club like Manchester United from Dortmund, and he's only gone backwards. So whose fault is that? Is it Manchester United's fault, who's given him loads of opportunities under all the managers that we've had over the last couple of seasons, and he's rarely taken them and barely looked the same sort of player that he was over in Dortmund, and has fallen out of the England setup? Is that Man United's fault? Is that Ten Hag's fault? Or is it Jadon Sancho's fault? Who really knows? But I personally think that the player maybe is just a little bit too comfortable at United, getting paid a fortune, and hasn't got the mentality to battle his way in there, both for the England setup and the Manchester United setup. So look, I'm in the class of thinking that I believe he should be dropped now. He's undermined the manager. He's brought excess eyes of negativity on Manchester United here publicly, which was just not needed, unnecessary. And he's questioned Ten Hag publicly. You can't really do that. Smash a one if you think he should absolutely be dropped for a good while now to prove a point. Even if Antony can't play, even if Antony's investigating and he's not allowed to play and we have to suspend him or whatever the case may be, per an investigation, we should be going to play Palistri instead. Smash a one if you think that's the case, because I don't honestly think that you can do that as a player, publicly question your manager like that, and then just, gloss over it and carry on as nothing's happened. Surely there has to be some sort of a punishment that takes place here from Erik Ten Hag. And maybe he'll end up going out on loan, or maybe he'll end up being sold in January. But for right now, he is at the club. The transfer window is shut, at least in most countries. So therefore, is it really likely that he goes anywhere now? No. You probably want to have him around as a backup if you need him, but he's clearly not showing the right mentality. Otherwise, Ten Hag wouldn't have called him out on his training. And he's obviously done this now, which creates a rift with the manager and the player, and has the potential to create a rift in the squad as well. So if you think about that, people there were some rumours and reports that maybe Rashford liked Sancho's post the other day and then quickly removed it or whatever. There's mates. He's got mates in the squad. And if there's a division between a player and a manager, that can create division between the player's friends and the manager, maybe. So I really don't think this is good for squad harmony. It's not good for the authority that Ten Hag has in the squad. It's just not good at all. So I don't think it's very good. Wazza says he's shite anyway, Piggy. Well, he hasn't been good, has he? You're absolutely right. Jarvis says we should have sold Sancho this summer. We waited too long and his value has plummeted. Same as Marcio, Donny and Bailey. Our club is run by incompetent clowns. Well said there, Jarvis. Well said. I mean, if we could have sold Sancho, we should have sold Sancho. Maybe we could have been able to do some sort of, swap deal or something. Problem with Jadon Sancho and selling him in this summer transfer window is that for the money that he gets paid and the value that he is, well, maybe not what he is, but what Man United paid, i.e. £73 million, we'd have to have taken a big loss on him just to be able to get him off of our books. Because based on last season, he was crap. He was pretty bang average. And there's not going to be a whole host of clubs that are really wanting to take Jadon Sancho on for, say, 40 million. And would United even be prepared to publicly lose another 33 million on a player just after 2 seasons and sell him for so little And would there be a club prepared to even pay 40 million for him? What do you think Sancho's worth, guys? Get in the live chat. We paid 73 million for him. He probably is worth 40 million, to be fair. To be fair, he is worth 40 mil. He's an England, homegrown player who was an international, and he's a good player for the right level and for the right side. He's a good player. So I do think he is 40 mil. But that's a big difference between 73 million and 40 million. So, we'd be taking a massive loss publicly on yet another player, and then he's on hundreds of thousands of pounds a week, which some club would have to cover, which means that it just makes him almost unsaleable. So, perhaps we could have maybe swapped him for someone. That might have been an idea. I don't know. Somebody who's want away at a different club. It could have fit both parties. But actually, to expect us to sell Jadon Sancho in the summer, it's hard. It's very hard because it's just like the Slabby Maguire situation all over again. They're on an absolute cushy number at the club, getting paid huge amounts of cash, way too much than they're actually worth. And it's hard to sell them because there's not that many clubs out there that are prepared to pay a significant fee. And then have to pay his wages. So unfortunately, he was probably really hard to move on in the summer. We might have actually tried to sell him. In fact, there were some rumours that maybe Chelsea were looking at him and that maybe United was sort of open to selling him. But the reality is, he's very hard to sell because of what he's paid and the value that we sort of put on him when we bought him as well. We do that all over the place. We're a nightmare. Thank you, Jimmy Jones, for getting in here with a $1.99 super chat, my son. Let's get a sue in the live chat for Jimmy Jones. Thank you, Jimmy. He says more statements than goals this week. Sadly, it's true. Sadly, it's true, mate. Absolutely right. Thank you, Jimmy Jones. Let's get some love in there for Jimmy. Thank you for that, bro. G-Wolf says 40 to 50 million, I think. But what's worse, poor trading or abuser, says G-Wolf United. Why do we have to... why do we have to, have one or the other, though? You know what I'm saying? Why do we have to compare somebody who's a poor trainer to somebody who's an abuser? I don't really get that. But fair enough. I mean, okay, look, Antony's only an alleged abuser right now, bud. He's not even a proven abuser. If you're talking about Greenwood, fair enough, we fucked him off to Getafe. You know what I mean? But, I'll tell you what you don't want. You don't want either. You don't want an abuser in the club, and you don't want somebody who's a poor trainer in the club either. You want somebody who's got the right mentality. You want somebody that's a professional, that's a hard trainer, that's a hard worker, and has got the ability as well. As I said yesterday, it doesn't matter if you've got the ability. You also need to have the right mentality along with it to reach your true potential. Otherwise, you're always gonna be in your own shadow. There's been many a player over the years who haven't lived up to it, like people like Ravel Morrison and Paul Pogba and people like that who might have the ability, they don't have the mentality. And then there's other players that go far on mentality and they don't necessarily have all the ability, but they go very far because they've got the right attitude, they work ridiculously hard, and they give it their all. People like Gary Neville, for instance. Say what you want about Gary Neville, but he had a great mentality when it came to working hard and making the most of what he had. He wasn't the most skilled player, he wasn't the most silky right back you're ever going to see, but it went a long way on limited ability. I think that's fair to say. And then you've got people that have both, and they're the special ones, aren't they? People like David Beckham, for instance, who have that working mentality, but also the ability. And Cristiano Ronaldo and people like that. Cristiano Ronaldo, nobody can doubt that he's got an elite mentality and that he works harder than anybody. And that's why he's got to the levels that he's got to. It's not just the fact that he's got this fantastic ability. That only gets you so far. So, this is what we're dealing with here. If you're a bad trainer, if you've got a bad mentality, you're never going to reach the heights of being a truly classy individual. And that's, unfortunately, I think the problem that Jadon Sancho may be facing. Chris Koo, thanks so much for the £2 super chat, my lad. Get in there, my son. Come on. Says too much player power right now at United. Indeed, too much player power at United. What's going on? Don't know. I think it's just a modern game, mate. There's so much power to these players because they get so much money and they're on these bulletproof contracts. You can't get out these contracts. Most of these players should be on pay to play, to be honest, and performance-based contracts. Mark N, how you doing there, Mark N, lad? Get in there, my son. He says, Ten Hag will discipline Sancho. He should only do his talking with his feet on the pitch. Yeah, fair play to you, my son. Mark says Sancho played off the left for Dortmund. I mean, sometimes he did, but I think if you actually look at statistics, most of the time he was playing on the right wing. So he did sometimes play there. I think he played his best football for Dortmund playing on the right wing there, Mark N, didn't he? I mean, you're in Germany, aren't you, son? So maybe you know better. But from what I understand, he was often playing right wing over there for him. I think he did play left as well sometimes. But yeah, anyway, fair play to you, man. Look, piss off back to Dortmund is what I say. Yeah, he was playing right wing, says Batman Night Fan. Yeah, I think the majority of the time for Dortmund he was. But I think sometimes he probably did play on the left. But I personally think his best position is right wing. Gattuso says right wing. Yeah, he was playing right wing. Sin Game says Erik Ten Hag spoke about Sancho in public. Why can't Sancho speak about Erik Ten Hag in public? Because Erik Ten Hag is the manager of Manchester United, Sin Games, lad. You know, that's the difference here. He's the key figure. He's the daddy, so to speak. You know, Sir Alex Ferguson used to talk about players sometimes. Sir Alex Ferguson, would he put up with this response from Jadon Sancho? I think he's absolutely right to talk about him if he feels like it's a way to motivate the guy and give him a kick up the arse. He's allowed to do that. Ten Hag's a very blunt manager. He's a very blunt person. He says it how it is, more or less. And you can't really, I don't think you can really question his methods here. If he feels like the best thing to do to motivate Sancho is to put something on him in public, then fair play to him. Like Jose Mourinho did it as well. Jose Mourinho's that type of guy who, if he's got something on his mind, if he feels like somebody needs a kick up the arse, he'll drop something negative in public about a player, and it will often have a great impact, and it will be the catalyst that's needed to get that person to knuckle down. Maybe Ten Hag felt the same way, but Sancho as a player, you can't be coming out and insinuating that the coach is a liar. I said this yesterday and I stand by it. Even if Ten Hag was lying, you don't talk to him, you don't talk about him publicly as the player. You go and you have that private conversation. That's what you've got to do as a player. That's your role. Your role isn't to create division within the squad. You have to be professional. You have to go and knock on the manager's office the next day and fucking go and have a conversation with him and tell him you're not happy. And he'll probably tell you why he said that. He'll probably say, listen, you might be training to an okay standard, Jadon, but I want you training to the maximum of your effort levels and your abilities to get the best out of you. And this is an opportunity for them to squash this, and it's a way for him to try and get the best out of Jadon. That's honestly why I think Erik Ten Hag did that. I don't think he's done that because he just, hates on Jadon. I don't think he said that because, he's just singling Jadon out and scapegoating Jadon. Why would he do that to a player that he's given a lot of chances to? Ten Hag let him go away for a few months to get his head right and trade away from the side. He also, has given him lots of chances, not a lot of them based on actual performances from Jadon Sancho. So I don't think we can question Erik Ten Hag on this. That's his prerogative to talk about his player who he manages and coaches publicly. But it's not on Jadon Sancho to question the numero uno, the manager at the football club, publicly and call him a liar. That's the difference, really. You can't say that about the manager. Imagine if this had happened in Sir Alex Ferguson's day. Sir Alex Ferguson would be going to stick a Glasgow kiss on him the next day and shipping him off to fucking Altrincham or some shit. You can't do it. You can't do it. It's different. It's not the same. So it's not the same rules for Ten Hag as it is for Sancho, whether you think that's right or wrong. It's not the same rules. A Berber says, imagine Pogba doing what Sancho was. People would be out with pitchforks. You're so right, Berber. Do you remember that training session a few years back where, Jose Mourinho is? There's a video of Jose Mourinho just berating Pogba, and Pogba's really taken aback and offended by Jose. And Jose come out and said lots of things about people like Luke Shaw and Pogba and people like this in the past. If these players had come out and said, you know what, they're talking shite, that guy, and they're still a Manchester United player, you're right, there would be so much backlash, mate. You're absolutely spot on. You're absolutely right. Jadon Sancho isn't devoid of any sort of criticism here, man. He's in the firing line just like anybody else, and if he's not up to the standard, and if he's talking bad about the manager, he needs to face the repercussions of that. Anyway, it's so dramatic at this club every single day, isn't it? It's a nightmare. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Jarvis. Yep, Sancho's performance isn't the sole factor in his value. It's his salary. To support him for 3 seasons, a club would need 54.6 million. You're damn right, Jarvis. As I said earlier on, it's not just his performances. His performances are subpar, which means that his value is lessened. But certainly, the reason why he's not worth that much is because it's too much money to take on. It's way too much money to take on for a club to cover his wages that he's currently on right now. You're spot on there. Mourinho said Luke was too fat. I don't remember him saying that, but maybe he did. It wouldn't surprise me. Jose says it how it was. I mean, Jose, I remember after a game saying, I think he said something along the lines of, Luke Shaw's stupid, and I need to stand on the sidelines and shout instructions at him all game long. Otherwise, he doesn't fucking know what to do. You know, I'm ad-libbing here when I say that, but he more or less said something along the lines of Luke Shaw's a bit of a thickie, and I need to be there shouting in constant instructions to him, otherwise he's a melter. No, that's basically what Jose said once after a game, you know. Imagine if Luke Shaw had come out and publicly questioned Jose after that. I mean, it wouldn't have been a good look at all. Jose was right, says Tando. Oh, maybe Carl Smith. Who knows, bud? Frey Bentos Pie alert. Get in there, my son. Yes, indeed. He said it was Luke's body, but his mind. Yeah, there you go. Mourinho did pussy mouth Mourinho. Luan, I don't know. You know, I've got a soft spot for Mourinho. In the end, I mean, he wasn't backed fully by the Glazers either when he needed to be. I mean, he wasn't the right fit for United, I don't think, stylistically or anything. But look, he did us a Mickey Mouse treble while he was at the football club. But Jose's a born winner. He's a great coach. Would I have Jose back? I don't think he was the right fit for United for what we needed stylistically. But you can't deny he brought some success to United. He won us a Mickey Mouse treble in his first season, including the Europa League. That's a major European trophy. And he also got a second in his second season. And then after that, he needed to be invested in by the Glazers, and he wasn't. And he talked about it publicly, and they got rid of him. So, no, but he's a great coach. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, I can see why people don't like him, but I personally do like him. And I think he is one of the best coaches of all time. He said Luke Shaw plays with Jose's brain or something. There you go. Hey, what's going on there? MUFC Realist TV, what's happening? It says modern ballers are all about money, social media image, and release rap singles, then play ball, aka Porcelain Dolls. So true, isn't it? You're so right, MUFC Realist. Absolutely damn right. You know, literally they do, don't they? Memphis Depay's releasing songs. You know, it's a fucking joke. Social media image. Yeah, think about something like Jesse Lingard. Jesse Lingard, all about that image, isn't he? He could have been so much more Jesse Lingard than he actually ended up being if he'd have just had a better mentality and focused more on the game, I think. Social media image is a lot of what he cares about. Paul Pogba's another one. People like this, you know. Paul Pogba's releasing pogumentaries and documentaries and shit like that. That's just unnecessary. And you're spot on. I think you're absolutely spot on, really. It's like everyone's so showy these days. There's very few sort of just like no nonsense, get your head down type players anymore. Particularly in England. I think a lot of English players are just prima donna Hollywood type players these days, sadly. And it's all about the image, and it's all about, you know, like you say, the Instagram and all that shit. It's an absolute debacle. I couldn't agree more with you, bud. Yeah, exactly. Brands, etc. All the work of the agencies too. Too much distraction. Spot on. You know, where's the players who are just getting their head downs, playing for the love of the game? You know, people like Paul Scholes didn't even have an agent. All these players, they just want the money, and they want the social image, and they want the, you know, they want everything. It's a disgrace. I couldn't agree more. Right. So look, anyway, the point I was making here is just that he's not in the England setup anymore, is he? He's not in the England setup anymore, and that's for a reason too. It's because his performances haven't been good enough for United, and maybe his mentality's not good enough either. So it's known that, yeah, Ten Hag may be getting tough on Sancho, but Ten Hag's getting tough on all the players at the football club. There's a certain degree of professionalism that Eric Ten Hag requires from his team. So Chris Reader reports that Ten Hag has taken a tougher line with Sancho this time. Poor timekeeping has been a perennial problem. England steer clear of Sancho over sulky attitude. Chelsea signed Palmer instead, even though United would have sold for 45 million. So there were some reports that Chelsea were interested in Sancho. There's even other reports, speculative stuff, that suggests that maybe we would have been prepared to trade him for a left back in Cucurella at one point, which is pretty crazy when you think about it. This guy, this forward player that we paid, homegrown, that we paid 73 mil for, maybe we'd have been prepared to trade him for a left back. You just think about that for a second. I mean, Cucurella is a good player and everything, and they paid a lot of money for it. But even so, pretty crazy stuff, you know, just goes to show you how far he's fallen. But yeah, look, Ten Hag's taking a tougher line with everyone. He doesn't want his players to be late. He doesn't want his players to be unprofessional. You remember last season he dropped Garnacho, wasn't it? Dropped Garnacho because Garnacho was late for some team meeting or something. Regardless of form, and Rashford as well. Do you remember that, guys? Rashford. Even Rashford, who was in great form, Rashford, I think, was late for a team meeting or something like that. And then he didn't bring him on until half-time. He benched him just to prove a point and say, hey, look, Marcus, you can't be doing this, mate. We're setting a tone and we're setting an example here for the rest of the team. And we want you to behave in a professional manner. And Rashford came on at half-time in that game and scored, but, you know, he was punished. That's it. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter how good you are. Even if you're Cristiano Ronaldo, you've got to do what everybody else is doing. You've got to be professional and work hard and be on time and be professional. So there you go. I think that's what's going on with Ten Hag. It's not a singling out Jadon Sancho thing or a scapegoating Sancho thing. It's just an expectation of Ten Hag from everybody in the squad. That's kind of what I think. Right, okay, we're gonna move on from this Sancho stuff. It's very annoying, isn't it? But there you go. We've got a few other little bits and bobs to discuss in terms of news. Nothing major, but let's discuss it. So Wan-Bissaka is on the verge of maybe signing a new deal, or at least discussions are taking place, it does look like. So reports come out that Man United have opened talks over extending Aaron Wan-Bissaka's contract following his progress under Ten Hag. Discussions have taken place in the last month to keep him at United under a long-term contract. More talks are due now the summer transfer window is closed. Smash a one if you'd be happy to see Wan-Bissaka sign a new deal. It's a yes from me, Carol. It couldn't be an easier yes, to be honest. I think if you're talking about players who have improved under Ten Hag, if you're talking about players who've looked good over the last year, he's more or less been our most consistent best player. You know, there's a couple of other really good ones as well. Rashford did great last season in terms of goals, and Cassie had a good season last season, and Bruno's Bruno. But really, the Spider has been the most consistent player for us for a long time now. He's been very, very impressive, and he has added more facets to his game. He has got some assists. He has been better going forward. He has worked really hard. He does give his all every single game. So yeah, we've got to give him his props and say that if we can get this guy wrapped up to a new deal for a significant amount of time, it would be good for us. And fair play to him and fair play to Ten Hag, because just a short while ago, maybe a year or so ago before Ten Hag came in, there was a lot of people doubting Aaron Wan-Bissaka, and even would have been prepared to let him go and bring somebody else in at right back. And there was a period of time where he wasn't performing that well, but to be fair to him, under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he was always very good. Under Rangnick, he wasn't, but who was really? Who was? But for Ole, he was always good. And then for Ten Hag, he's always been good. So I think he is just a fantastic, impressive defender who is only getting better and has the right mentality for Manchester United. And that's half the battle, really. As I said, half of it's to do with ability and half of it's to do with the right mentality. Exactly. Me too, Luan France. Guy's an absolute boss, to be fair. Love him. Nice guy. Works hard. Great player. The Mustard says wait until the end of the season to give him his payday or else he'll disappear. I'm not so sure, Mustard, but yeah, maybe. That's a fair point. I'm not so sure with him though. He seems the sort of guy that's just super committed and works very, very hard. But hey, look, who can really tell? You often see players get contracts and then melt. Right, keep smashing the likes, guys. If you're just getting in here, smash the subscribe. We're on our way to 75,000 subscribers now, peeps. If you're new to the show and want to have your say, you need to be subscribed. Hit that subscribe button. It's free to subscribe. Also, hit the like. It's free to like. It does boost us up in the algorithm and help us out. And it's free, so drop a little thumbs up on it if you haven't done so. Help us compete with the corporation wankers and clickbait atrocities. Also, give us a share around on social media. The link is pinned to the Twitter post at the top of the live chat. Click that. I'll shout you all out in a few minutes' time. Everyone who does that, thanks so much. Just a couple of other things I'm going to discuss. Well, one more thing, really. Then we'll do a rundown of what we discussed in this vid. But just a report here via Fabrizio Romano, that suggests that Harry Maguire wants to fight for his place at Manchester United. This is where we need Steve Owen to pop up with a fucking ashtray, guys. You know what I'm saying? This is where we need Steve Owen to pop up and fucking bing him on the slab. You know what I'm saying? Like, as far as the drama goes in this football club, this is an absolute joke. So, yeah, anyway, look, I just... hopefully that's not true. I mean, to be fair to him, does he even need to fight his way back into the side? He's already in the side. He literally came on the first game after the transfer window shut and shat the bed, or certainly, made United worse as we came on. The game seemed to get away from us once Maguire was on. Not necessarily his fault, but he just sets a bad precedent for the rest of the side, I think, with his absolute guff play and his and the guff confidence that he instills in the rest of the teammates. But Harry Maguire wants to fight for his place, apparently. Look, it's depressing as you like, but goodness me, at the moment it does look like he's genuinely involved in the setup. So Varane's out injured. Lisandro Martinez, apparently, we're waiting to undergo more, or him to be assessed properly for Argentina and see what his fitness levels are like after coming off the other day against Arsenal. But we do have injury concerns. You see, this is why I was saying at the start of the show, the Glazeronomics, the guff that's going on. We shouldn't be going in with good teams, tussling with good teams like Arsenal away at the Emirates with Johnny Evans and Maguire on the pitch. Fair play to Johnny Evans. He's a good guy. He's a good player. He's a good backup. He's a good free signing, you know. But it's not enough. It's not enough to be going up against Arsenal. We could have gone and got Todibo. We could have gone and got Pavard. We could have gone and got Kim Min-jae. And that's who Ten Hag wanted. In the end, he got Johnny Evans. So it is a shambles, really. It is a true shambles of what's going on. Right, one or two other little bits I want to discuss. Manchester United's squad for the group stage of the 2023-24 Champions League has been submitted to UEFA, guys. Get in there, my son. Donny van der Beek is not in it. So Donny van der Beek is still subject to maybe a transfer away to a club where, you know, their window's still open, possibly this summer. So we've got, obviously, Bayern Munich, Copenhagen, Galatasaray in our group. It kicks off on the 20th of September with a trip to Bayern. 25-man squad is made up of the A-list players who are you know, we've put together, and it's this basically. We've got Sofian Amrabat, Altay Bayender, Casemiro, Diogo Dalot, Antony, Christian Eriksen, Bruno Fernandes, Rasmus Højlund, Victor Lindelof, Tyrell Malacia, Anthony Martial, Lisandro Martinez, Andre Onana, Facundo Pellistri, Sergio Aguilera, Rafael Varane. Then we've got some club-trained homegrown players, which is where Johnny Evans fits in, Tom Heaton, Scott McTominay, Marcus Rashford, Luke Shaw, and then association-trained players, homegrown players as well, Harry Maguire, Mason Mount, Jadon Sancho, Aaron Wan-Bissaka. So that is the current list, it seems, for the squad. There's no Donny van der Beek in there, just to let you know, and it does seem like maybe Donny van der Beek is going elsewhere. So I'll pop this up on the screen. I mean, obviously there's other clubs still interested in Donny, maybe clubs from Turkey, Saudi, but Fabrizio's reported that Donny van der Beek out of Manchester United's Champions League list. Alejandro Garnacho doesn't appear on public list as he's part of the B list. He's obviously part of the UCL squad. Yeah, so that's to be fair. So you've got an A list, which is the players who are either, you know, the A list of selected players, the 25-man squad who are either trained by the club or association trained. And then the B list, which is due to be submitted ahead of the first game against Bayern. And it will, ManUnited.com says that it will definitely include Argentina international Alejandro Garnacho among other players who have come through our academy. So there is another list of players that are still added to it, which is the B list. But we had to submit the A list. So just to clear that up. Get in there, my son. Also, Eric Bailly joins Besiktas. So that is reported by United this morning on their website. Eric Bailly has left Manchester United to join Turkish Super League side Besiktas on a free transfer. 29-year-old Ivory Coast defender made 113 appearances for United after joining from Villarreal in 2016. 7 years at the club, only 113 appearances. That goes to show you the sort of player he's been for us. An absolute injury-prone melter. Good luck to him. I like him. He's probably a better player than Harry Maguire. But as I've said many times, he is always injured, and so you can't rely on him. Thank you, Sly, for the $4.99 super chat. He says, Slabby love. You love Slabby, do you? You what? Don't be a dirtbag. Hey, yo, Adrian, I did it! Sly, thank you for getting in here. Ain't nothing gonna hit as hard as Harry Maguire. But it ain't about how hard you can hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep getting selected in Manchester United starting 11. That's how losing's done. You know what I mean? That's how, fucking hell. Ezio says, only Fabrizio's reliable. David Pornstein can do one. You're absolutely wrong, Ezio. David Ornstein's actually a cracking tier 1 journo, to be fair. He in fact, he only posts, I only see him posting, like, very rarely when there's, like, legit concrete shit on the go, mate. You know, it's very rare indeed, lad, that he gets it wrong. So I actually completely disagree with you. I think David Ornstein's, if anything, the best one, mate. You know what I'm saying? But there you go. But each to their own, right, guys. So that's the setup. Eric Bailly's joined them on a what seems to be a free transfer, right? Seems to be a free transfer. We are also waiting for more news on Lisandro Martinez. As I mentioned, apparently we've been handed some sort of fitness boost. He's expected to be evaluated upon his arrival, you know, by the Argentina medical staff before a decision's made on his availability, basically. So we've got to wait and find out there, but hopefully he's going to be okay. And as we mentioned, Antony dropped from the Brazil squad. That's basically the news of the day. Let me just do a quick rundown of what we discussed, then I'll get in and shout out all the Twitter retweeters and get into the live chat for a few minutes. But very quickly, crikey, we've been on here for an hour and 3 minutes already. That's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. Right, very quickly, guys. So this whole issue with Antony's going on. He's being investigated in Brazil by the Brazilian authorities about alleged domestic violence against his ex-girlfriend. He's been dropped from the Brazil side. We've got to wait and see how that plays out, which is obviously horrible. You viewed, thank you very much for getting in it with a super chat, lad. Get in there, my son. Thank you so much. He says, what you gonna do when Piggy Mania runs wild on you, brother? You viewed, thanks so much for getting in it with that super chat, mate. Come on. Give me a hell yeah. I appreciate that. Thank you so much, bud. That's kind of you. Nice one, man. Random, but awesome. Okay, so, yeah, there's that business going on there, guys, unfortunately. Amrabat situation is he's now at the club, as you can see there, shaking hands with the Dutch Stone Cold Steve Austin. His medical was completed or not before United detected a minor back injury, as reported by The Athletic. Apparently he's got some sort of back injury, but other outlets suggest that's not the case. I don't think he really has anything major to be worried about, but there are reports coming out that he does have some sort of back injury. Don't know if that's true, probably not. But who knows? The Athletic reporting that as the current back issue was not thought to be serious, United pressed ahead with a deal on the agreed terms. So kind of like Rasmus Højlund coming back in. Maybe it's more of a situation of, he's a bit out of conditioning because he's not played properly for a little while. So he needs to get back up to scratch. But maybe he does have a little bit of a knock. It's nothing serious, though, at all, guys. I don't think. He's still training and all that kind of stuff. He just needs to get back up to fitness. He has been announced as being given the number 4 shirt. Get in there, my son. Happy days. Lovely stuff. Very, very awesome to see. And obviously Man United just officially tweeting earlier on that, you know, he is here and he is official, but nothing really new there. And then obviously Phil Jones has been given the job as an under-18s coach as well. That's another bit of news. So from one number 4 to another, he has been given the job there. Jadon Sancho situation is, well, it needs to be clarified, but as we know right now, there is a bit of a rift between the player and manager due to the manager suggesting that Jadon wasn't a great trainer and hadn't trained that great that week. That's why he wasn't selected against Arsenal. And then Sancho publicly responding on his social media by saying that, you know, don't believe everything you read, and he's trained very hard, and, you know, and he feels like he's a bit of a scapegoat. So, you know, that's obviously a big story this week and a big issue that's not going away anytime soon. I'm sure Ten Hag will be asked about that in the next presser, and it'll be interesting to see what more comes out about that. But it could spell the end for Jadon Sancho at the football club at this moment in time. There are still some transfer windows open around the world, Saudi, Turkey, etc. So maybe there could be some deal done, but it's very unlikely. If Sancho's going anywhere, probably won't be until January. That's basically the latest news, folks. And Greenwood, there was a little video of him just saying he's very happy to be at Getafe. Can't wait to get underway there. Nice one. Right, I'm going to get stuck into the live chat now. Smash that like button. Smash the subscribe button. Get yourself in here for a few minutes. And let me just go over and shout out all the retweeters. Big up yourselves, everyone, for retweeting the show and sharing us around. It does help the channel out. We've had 19 retweets there, guys. Thank you so much to you all. Appreciate that very much indeed. Anthony Ong, thanks so much for getting in raw. Thank you so much as well to these legends. Mr. J United in Gaming, Mr. Sims, Feline Fur, Vincent Bullock, John Boy Cat, Tommy Boyle, Aaron Homeyard, Kieran Watts, Boomy, Stephen Braun, Kane, Jarvis Cocker, G-Dad Gamer, Edward McAllister, Chris Foy, Sin Games, Luan France, and United Mark. Get in there, you legends. Thanks so much, every single one of you legends, for getting in here raw and retweeting the show. It does help us out. Now to get into the live chat for a few minutes, guys. Hello there, Alan. What's going on? Goodness knows. Jeff Madrak is a disgrace. Tito Harvey says, Sue. I don't know, Philip Chapman. Who knows? Hey, better late than never, Frankie T. Sin Game says, Eric Ten Hag using Sancho as a reason to play Antony. That's how I see it. Don't know, man. I mean, I do see more effort from Antony, though, on the pitch. So I don't know. Maybe he's just playing Antony because, yeah, he signed him for 85 million. He rates Antony. But also, Antony maybe is more effective. Even in pre-season, Antony didn't play that well, but he did score and create. Do you think that's partly why Fiorentina wasn't playing Amrabat? Yeah, well, yes, absolutely. They wanted to protect him, I guess, to not get injured. But also, I think they just didn't want somebody playing for them who was lacking the focus and clearly wanted to go elsewhere. But you're right. They probably were protecting him. You know, Ten Hag, 10-year contract extension. Here we go, says Paul. Ten Hag gave him a stone cold stunner, says Pablo Escobar. Are you doing a watch-along for the Scotland v England game? I am indeed, Johnny. Isn't it Ukraine? Oh, yeah, no, we got Ukraine first and then that one after, right? Feel bad for Donny van de Beek. Wish him well wherever he goes. Yeah, very true, Luan France. Couldn't agree more with you. Big problem, Sancho. Antony, definitely. We should probably just play Pellistri for now. Yeah, exactly, Frankie. Give Pellistri Antony spot and let him show what he can do. Yeah, he probably deserves it based on form anyway. Thank you, Secret Underdog of the Gamer. Thank you, Paul. Tommy says, on the morning of the World Cup final 66, Charlton and Moore got on a London Open top tour bus, went to a calf for a fry-up. They didn't need much. These modern-day ballers don't know they're born. So true, Tommy boy. You're absolutely damn right, mate. You're spot on, lad. Damn right. Sancho never was good. Player is trash. Fair play to you, Lillis. Antony much better at getting back to defend. Sancho is lazy in that aspect. Spot on. He puts in the legwork, does Antony. Going to have my halloumi burgers. Sounds bloody nice, Jay. Steven says, Don Pig from the States, hopefully getting Cassie help will lock down the middle of the pitch. Yeah, definitely. Amrabat and Cassie should hopefully give us a much more stable defensive sort of minded base to build on. You're absolutely right. Never understood the fuss about Sancho. Guff. Yeah, exactly there. The situation will only get better once we have new owners, says Andrew Gronkars. That's also true. Yeah, we are definitely shackled by our owners and things will not truly get to the point where we want it to be until they're gone. How would you feel if you were Sancho here in Ten Hag saying Maguire's a great player and has achieved a lot, but oust him, Sancho? Well, you don't know how Maguire trains, though. To be fair to Maguire, as I've said many times, he might not have all the ability, but he always tries his absolute hardest for the shirt. I've never once had a problem with Maguire's effort or Maguire's mentality. He's a shit player and he's crap and he's a liability. But I've never had an issue with his mentality or his effort levels. So maybe he's a fantastic trainer. Maybe he's a complete professional. And so that's why maybe he's defending him. But if you're not, then maybe you deserve to be called out on it. Maguire's professionalism, I don't think, has ever been in question, actually. Paul, thank you very much for getting in here raw, bro. Apart from the fact he doesn't want to piss off and leave Man United. Paul, thank you very much for that 999 super chat. Get in there, my son. He says, Eric Ten Hag showed compassion to Sancho last season. I think Ten Hag was down to his last hope to motivate him. Call him out. Sancho chose poorly in response. Spot on. Yes, he did show compassion with him last season. Let him go away. Let him take time out of the squad. Let him get his head right. You're absolutely right. He did. And all the while being paid hundreds of thousands of pounds a week, man. Gave him time. Gave him opportunities. Selected him in the side even though his performances weren't really up to scratch. Paul, you're absolutely damn right, lad. Ten Hag maybe just at the end of his tether with the lad. Get in there, my son. Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you, Frankie. Says, by the way, Piggy, the subs are flying up. 100,000 going to be coming soon. Maybe. We'll see about that. I'd like to get there sometime in the next couple of years would be good. I mean, it's taken us over 10 years to get to 74, so I'm not expecting 100,000 anytime soon. But, hopefully in a couple of years, 2025 or some shite, hopefully we can get there, Get in there, Mark. Thank you very much, lad. Come on. Professional defenders don't ship goals in cost matches. Well, actually, they do. You can have a professional mentality and still be shit. You know what I mean? I think that's what Maguire is. He's not a bad trainer. He's not putting in poor effort out there. He's just gash. There's a big difference. I don't think he's a bad mentally. He's just a bad player. There is a difference. Manager, you never call out your player in public, says Sing Games. I don't know. I kind of like the brutal honesty of it, to be fair. But, okay, fair enough. I don't think he was expecting that response from Sancho. I think he was expecting the response of, hey, boss, what's this all about? And he's saying, well, you needed to be motivated, Jaden. Let's see more from you, lad. You can fulfill your potential if you work hard. But if you don't, it's not going to happen for you. And then maybe they could have moved on. But I don't think he was expecting Sancho to come out and do that. I think it was a motivationary tactic from Ten Hag that's backfired. Jeff says, fact of life, if Ten Hag didn't play Antony, the Glazers would blowtorch his ass about why he gave him the contract he did. Yeah, it's a fair point as well, Jeff. I suppose there's a bit of pressure on him to play him and get some stuff out of him, kind of like Ollie and Maguire. Yeah, no, don't think so, Sing Games. What? Martinez forgot. I've never really seen too much from Sancho. I've been prepared to give him time, but he's been here 2 years plus now, and he's never really lived up to it. And he's cost a lot of money. He's on a lot of money. Doesn't really perform that well to a good enough standard consistently enough. Tommy says, same thing happened at Dortmund. Then the rest of the season, he scored 17 goals and 12 assists. Ten Hag knows exactly what he's doing. Respect. That's a fair point. Maybe he's just going to be introduced back in. After his friend got shot and killed, well, what compassion that would mess anyone up, says Luan France. You what? Kay and Joey, get in there. Well, fair enough. Ollie Carney has gone back and got all of his Ajax players, it seems, and Maguire is a terrible player, but Ten Hag says otherwise. Why publicly criticise Sancho since we know Eric Ten Hag can lie, says Tafisa and Barter. Well, Maguire's not a terrible player when it comes to the right sort of team. He's good for England. He'd be good for a low block side. And Ten Hag's stuck with Maguire, so he kind of has to say, you know, that he's going to be involved in some capacity and he's a good player. It actually doesn't make sense to openly criticise Maguire right now because Maguire's just a backup melter. But I guess with Sancho, he feels like he's trying to motivate him to break into the first team, maybe. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe you're right, but who really knows? Nobody really knows. Imagine if Ten Hag said that about Cantona. Trust people react differently. And Ten Hag, poor management, in my opinion. Well, fair enough. I mean, yeah, say that about Cantona. I mean, I guess you can say that. I mean, Cantona wasn't known to be the best trainer or you know, have the best mentality off of the pitch, I suppose. But on the pitch, he was the fucking mustard. So you make allowances, don't you? You make allowances, I'm afraid. Unfortunately, look, if Sancho was the bee's knees out there on the pitch, Ten Hag wouldn't be talking about his issues in training. That's the reality. Problem with Sancho is it sounds like he's not great in training and he's not great on the pitch. That's the difference. Cantona was untouchable because he was so fucking impressive. That's the difference. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna have to wrap this. Stream up now. Thank you so much to everybody for getting in here. I do appreciate you having your say. Come back afterwards. The debate doesn't have to stop there. Come back afterwards. Get your thoughts and opinions in there about anything we've discussed on this video. It's an absolute pleasure talking with you legends as always. Thank you so much for joining. We'll be back on at 10 p.m. tonight with the evening news. So do have your say and get involved. No, we're not random. That's not going to be a regular thing, mate. I just do it when I see fit. If there's somebody on that I fancy raiding, man. If not, then I won't. But anyway, thank you very much for joining us, you bunch of legends. Seriously, appreciate you guys. Oh, Tim Clerdon, I missed your super chat, did I? That's a melt, man. Sorry, Tim Clerdon. Let's go and try and find it, lad. Thank you, everyone who sent in super chats. Thank you, everyone, for having your say and getting involved. I do appreciate it. And Tim Clerdon, where is it? Do you know what, Tim Clerdon? I can't see it, bud. There isn't one. I think you accidentally didn't send it, mate. To be honest, I think you meant to send it, it didn't, because it's not here. Honestly, I've got this Stream Elements thing up, which shows me all my super chats now, because I often forget about them. And you ain't on there, bud. Anybody see one from Tim Clerdon? Because I didn't. But thank you if you did try to send one anyway. But I haven't got it through, mate. I haven't got it through, lad. Anyway, right, okay. Tim says I slabbed the super chat like a slab. I think you did, actually, Tim. I think that's what happened there, bud. Right, we're going to finish this stream now, but everybody, thanks so much for getting in here. Have a great day. We'll be back at 10 p.m. for the evening show. Smash that like button if you haven't done so. Make sure you drop a like. Help us get to 200 likes on the stream before you go. It's free to like once again. Also, hit the subscribe if you're new to the show. We're only 20 away from 200 likes, so hit the likes. Subscribe, click the bell icon for notifications. Come back at 10 o'clock-ish tonight. We'll be back on for the news of the evening. And also, thanks for watching, guys. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, and Kick at Flying Pig United. All the links are in the description down below in the description. So go do that. Check out the website, flyingpigunited.com. All the moderators like Sing Games, Gungshi, Vutinator, Berber, the Mustard, the Hoopman, Ulster, everyone. Thanks for moderating the live chat. All the members in green, thanks for supporting the channel. Thank you, Johnny. Thank you, Tommy, and everybody else as well. Come back after this is finished and have your say. Big love to you all. Stay classy and remember, Piggy loves you. And also remember, when the seagulls follow the trawler, as this is because they think sardines will be thrown into the sea. Thank you very much.